Hello, my name is Janssen, and today I'll be going over a few ambisonic pieces I've done using Reaper. These were done for my Sonic Tectonics class at the Queensland Conservatorium, and in this video I'll just be going over a little bit of my process as well making these tunes, and offer a little bit of reflection, especially regarding working in ambisonics environment. So here we have the first piece, which is a purely textural piece and tries to avoid any form of traditional pitch class, and mainly just focuses on moving sounds around, transforming sounds, changing depth, and morphing sounds, especially in the ambisonic space. Various composition methods I used was taking my MS-20 and running that through custom coded software to end up with a few of these sounds. Now this is after extensive manipulation. I distorted, mangled, pitched all my sounds live while I was playing the MS-20, but then later in Reaper I took large recordings of that and ran it through a series of effects ranging from, again, distortion, pitch shifting, time warping, just anything I could do to change the texture of the sound. And as you can hear down here, I've made extensive use of this Reaper's rubber band time stretching with this playing at 0.6 speed, and that just creates this very weird watery texture. And so I did this multiple times. I have up to 6 variants of this sound where I would run it through this processing, export it, and then re-import it and introduce new effects, or even just run it through the exact same processing again. And I did this and exported each step so I could have multiple snapshots of the sound, so I could blend between them. However, with these sounds, I wanted a bit more from them, so what I did was I exported them with binaural audio and everything as very low bit rates. Doing so, you get the same sound but with this really crackly, high-pitched texture, which I found worked great, especially for moving sounds close. And I just use it throughout the piece, as it's a way I can bring down the original sound and bring up this exported sound. As you can hear here, it has this very squishy, low-quality texture to it, which I found quite interesting. And this way I was able to then move this sound, this exported sound, in slightly different movements to just make the sound shift and come apart and widen, delocalize it. That was one of the main moments I had where I really started to get a grasp on this sound manipulation, sound transformation, mutilation. Next, we have my second piece, which is a mixture of these aforementioned methods and textural manipulations alongside a bit more traditional style of music. Here I've just taken my acoustic guitar and manipulated it until it's recognizable as a guitar, but something is wrong, and something's just different about it. It's not a guitar anymore. It's this watery, weak pad. But then supporting these guitars, I have just some like traditional percussion, traditional rhythm elements. I have some MIDI drums over here, which I think I programmed in Logic, and then a range of percussion that I recorded here at my house of just some cymbals, some snares. So for this guitar, there are two main guitar parts. This chord guitar, which was the first one I made, and then this side guitar. Now with this chord guitar, what I did was I ran it through a series of processes in VCV Rack, mainly using the Clouds, which is a granular time shifter. Here is the main part of this. And as you can hear, it has this fluttering, very slow fluttering effect. And then I just layered that with an octave up. Using Reaper's time stretch, I did more granular to it, so it has this slow fluttering with really fast fluttering going on. However, I've since bounced this out, so it doesn't really show. And then I just have an alternate part here. Altogether, it just adds up to this one huge just pad of guitar. That's very just disorienting. It's very all over the place, chaotic, which was one thing I was really going for in this piece. As you can hear, especially in this section, there's a big build and then just so much going on. It's just a cloud of noise, which just makes sense. Alright, and now on to the third and final piece, where, unlike the other two compositions, I really just focused on a slightly more traditional singer-songwriter song. Now, with this one, I have a variety of guitar loops, which I played in with my just electric guitar on a very clean setting. I have this first one, which, as you can see, just loops throughout the whole song. It's a song which does make use of this looping and repetitiveness to create something fairly meditative. It has these three main sections, and all of them are exactly the same in terms of the main backing. Now, as opposed to the other two pieces, this one is definitely a lot more static. There isn't some grand sonic shift like there is with this one of 3 times. It's a very driven drum bass thing, and there's not nearly as much like textural shift as this one. So with this piece, I really wanted to focus on getting these loops, these guitar loops, all the different parts in a place, and then instead of necessarily rotating them around and having this grand movement, I would just fade them in, have them move closer, move away, and just have the song happen over the listener, instead of the listener necessarily being taken away to this new crazy environment. So this has been my documentary overview, reflection of these 3 pieces I've done for this class. And while yeah, there was struggle along the way, I'm feeling very pleased with the outcome, honestly. Especially in the past week or two, I've really felt that the pieces have come to light, not just as a stereo piece that is in ambisonics, it's an actual ambisonics piece of music.